Okay, so the slip stitch technique can be used to sew some applique onto your garment. It could be used to possibly sew a seam together where you're trying to match a print, all kinds of different techniques. And it's very similar to the slip basting stitch, which I showed you earlier. It's just that because it's an actual stitch that's intended to stay, when you stitch on your garment, you want to make sure you're taking the smallest stitches possible, like one thread. So I do have my fabric folded under some raw edge, so this might be considered maybe an applique that I want to sew, and then this is my actual garment. So I'll put my applique wherever it is. You know, maybe later on my applique, I'm also actually folding under this part, and I'm having like some kind of stripe applique, perhaps. Could be what's going on with this technique sample. So to get started, I did do a waist knot on my thread. So I'm gonna do my first stitch where I'm coming inside, and my waist knot will be hidden inside the applique, inside the fold, so nobody will see it. There we are. Okay, and now I'm going to stitch my garment. So you could potentially see this. So what I really wanna do is just take the teeniest, tiniest little stitch where I'm really getting one thread. I don't know if the camera's able to pick up that, but there's just like one little muslin thread on my needle. So I'm gonna pass my needle through. This is where it's nice to have a sharp needle, right? Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in a stitch inside my applique. So I'm not actually, get my thread out of the way. I'll just leave it there for now then. I'm not stitching the garment, I'm stitching my applique, and my needle's like going through the fold. There we are. So my thread should be hidden inside the folded seam allowance. So I took a little longer stitch because I knew it was going to be hidden. You're not going to see it there. Okay, so now I have to take a stitch on my garment, right? And I have this really contrast color blue thread. So I'm going to try to take the teeniest little stitch. I'm going to try to catch just one thread. Okay. I know it's hard to do on camera because I'm trying to use my eyes and look. Okay, that might be considered maybe a big stitch. Did I get more than one thread? I'm not sure. I think I got just one thread. It's fine. So I'll pull my needle through, pull my thread through. Okay, it's looking okay. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go inside the fold again. I really wanna get the fold like really close to where my thread came out of on the garment. And I'm gonna, let's see here, get my needle inside the folded part. And then this one I could take a longer stitch, right? Because it's going to be hidden. Pull my needle through. Oops. There we are. Okay, pull it tight, kind of see what that's looking like. So now again, it's time to stitch my garment. I'm working on the right side of my garment, so people are really gonna be able to see this, and we don't want them to see my stitches. So you really wanna take the teeniest stitch possible. We're talking one little thread, okay? So I'll pull that through, and then just repeat all the way until my whole applique is sewn on nice and sturdy onto my garment. All right, so go ahead and complete that.